Hi there, Dave with Crandall Office, and we know one of the most important decisions you have to make when building out your remanufactured chair is which upholstery selection to choose. We've done individual videos on each of our different fabric selections that we have available, and now we're doing a little bit of a comparison between some of our more like materials. Today we're taking a look at two of our more unique materials, which is Bioknit Diamond and 3D Bioknit. So without further ado, let's fight! All right, so let's jump right in and take a look at where these two materials are similar to each other. And just like all of our Bioknit materials, these are knitted materials and they're knitted from the same yarn. So they're gonna be very similar from a material standpoint, and they're gonna be knitted a little bit differently, but they're both made in the USA and knitted in the USA. So they're very like in those two categories. Beyond that, they're both gonna have a very similar amount of stretch. So both these materials are gonna have a ton of stretch. We've gone over this a few times, but as you can see, these are just going to move a lot with you. And that makes a difference when you're in the chair. These are going to move and really let new padding show through. The 3D material here is going to have a very similar amount of stretch to the Diamond. So the last area that they're going to be very similar is going to be in durability ratings. So the Bioknit Diamond is rated at 170,000 double rubs. The 3D Bioknit is rated at 150,000 double rubs. So technically there's a slight edge to the Diamond, but they're so similar that we're going to list that in the similar category. All right, so let's take a look at where these two materials differ from one another, and those are going to be in two primary categories, and that's going to be in the feel of the material and as well as the breathability. So let's jump right into feel. So the Bioknit Diamond is really going to be a much softer material. Again, we've talked about it before, but this has got a really quilted kind of feel to it. We really developed this to mimic the feel of a quilt, and it really does that well. It comes and goes a lot and has just a very soft, thicker feel to it. The 3D material is going to be a little bit rougher to the touch. It's not going to be quite as soft, but it's obviously going to have a lot of dimension to it. So they're going to definitely have a little bit of a different feel to them. This is going to be softer, this is going to be a little bit rougher. When we look at the breathability of the 3D material is going to be far and away best of everything that we offer. The Diamond material is a knitted material that has a ton of breathability to it, but it's really not going to match the breathability of the 3D material due to how it's constructed. Again, this kind of creates a spacer layer with the two-layer design that really just allows for more airflow than anything else that we've got, especially when you're sitting against it. It kind of creates that buffer layer, that spacer layer that really increases breathability. So those are going to be the two areas that they're going to differ the most. Next, we're going to take a look at price, whereas both have a slight upcharge to the chair at $25 for the Bioknit Diamond material and $35 for the 3D Bioknit material. The last area that we're going to look at is going to be the options available. So we've got 6 different colors in the 3D material, and we have 9 different colors in the Diamond. And I do want to note another difference that you're going to see is that we only offer the 3D material on the back of the chair, not on the seat. So when you order 3D, you're going to get a standard Bioknit seat along with the 3D Bioknit back, whereas the Diamond is going to be Diamond throughout both seat and back. So it's going to be a little bit more of a uniform look versus kind of a little bit of a different look. Again, the Bioknit and the 3D Bioknit also use the same yarns, just like the Diamond and the 3D. So it's going to be a very similar look, but definitely a different look between the back and the seat versus a more uniform look on the Diamond. All right, so the final area that these are going to be different from each other is obviously going to be in the looks. And if you're looking at these two specific materials, you're probably looking for a unique material. They both have that in spades. They are very unique and probably the two most unique materials we offer. They both are made with 2 different yarn colors in their knitting construction. But as you can see, the 3D material is going to give you that almost kind of abstract, it's kind of an optical illusion, kind of 3-dimensional look to the chair. It's a really unique look. And whereas the Diamond is going to be a much more patterned 3-dimensional look. It still does have that 3-dimensional look and feel. Very unique in the two-tone. It kind of looks like stitching. Again, we're trying to replicate the quilted look, the look of a quilt on this material. I think we knocked it out of the park on that. Very unique materials. Both are going to be two-tone, but in much different ways. All right, so let's do a final wrap up and start giving out check marks to these two materials, starting with durability. The durability check marks are going to go to Bioknit Diamond. They're very similar at 170,000 versus 150,000. check mark goes to 170 because it's higher. Both are no worries about durability on either, but this gets a slight edge. From a breathability standpoint, we're going to give the check mark to 3D. Due to its 3D construction and how it's made with that spacer layer, it just adds a different level of breathability to this material. Again, this breathability is an area that Bioknit Diamond really excels, but 3D takes it to a different level, gets the check mark. From a softness standpoint, we're going to give the check mark to Diamond. It just has that softness and touch feel to it that is going to, it's so much softer. It really, that three-dimensional nature to it as you roll your hand over it is very unique, and it just adds to the softness to it versus the 3D material that really kind of comes and goes a lot and has a little bit of a rougher texture. From a stretch standpoint, both are going to excel in stretchiness and have a very similar level of stretch. We're going to give them both check marks. They're knitted material, so they really both excel in that area and have a similar level of stretch. From a price standpoint, the Bioknit Diamond is $25 a chair. The 3D is $35 a chair upcharge. So we're going to give a check mark to the Diamond as it's a little bit cheaper. And the final category in looks, I'm giving a check mark to both. These are two of our more unique materials, and they both have a very, very cool look to them. I'm not going to give one edge to the other because it's very much a personal preference thing, but from a look standpoint, these both excel and are at the top of the list, and that's probably why you're directly comparing the two. They both get check marks. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video comparing 3D Bioknit and Bioknit Diamond. If you found this video helpful, please click the like and subscribe buttons below. And as always, if you have any questions at all about these materials or anything else, you can reach us at our website, crandalloffice.com, our Facebook page, or anywhere else you can reach us. We're always here to help. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. That's clunky, but I don't think anybody watches them anyway. And finally, we're going to give the final check mark to Here's your new video.